Welcome to episode 102 of Planning Phase Syndicate. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I'm trying some weird new filters, so if I look a little bit like a ghost on screen, that'll be why. Tonight, we're going to be talking about more store champs, as well as some more list building we didn't get to earlier last week. And so we're going to trying to finish those up. So that people can submit more lists. And then what we're hoping is that gives everybody kind of a good idea of where they would like to be. Also on the agenda tonight is to cover the top 8 of the regional championship that was held in the UK called UKGE. And I don't know what the hell it stands for, but it stands for something. United Kingdom. Don't know what else. But anyway, we're going to cover the first regional that has officially happened, look at the top 8 lists, and kind of talk a little bit about list construction, what we see in the meta, and all of those fancy things. With that being said, let's bring in my co-host for tonight. Welcome to the show, Mr. Benchwarmer. How are you doing tonight, Alex?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Good. We tied again in SOS and Store Champ, so either one of us needs to switch the faction we're flying up, or we need to stop pretending the same Store Champ because we're getting identical SOS somehow. I have no idea how, either.
Impressively, without even playing each other.
I know, and we haven't played each other. Now, okay, the next Store Champ, we have to figure out how we're going to play each other, and then maintain the same SOS, no matter who wins or loses.
How about we only play each other in the finals?
All right, fine. Fair enough. Also joining me tonight is JJ, the guy who loves the Lions, Gridiron. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing all right. Man, you know, I just find it funny that you guys constantly have the same SOS pretty much close there. I mean, you know, you think that you guys would be on top every time, right?
I'm second and third respectively in these. Okay. I'm close.
And Tanner's slowly becoming one with the Force over here, turning into a Force ghost.
I don't know why it does it. It just must not like... Oh, there you go. It just must not like my mic. It must think my mic's my face or something. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If it looks too stupid, we're just going to get rid of it, but... I thought it might be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Either which way. Thank you all for joining tonight. Obviously, you know how Alex and my weekend went, seeing as we both played in the Store Champs. So there's that. We both played in the Grand Rapids one, and both got the exact same set of cards we got last time. So I have 2 sets of Store Champ cards, I guess. I don't know what we're going to do with the other set. I don't know.
Sounds like a giveaway, right?
Maybe we'll give
away my second set.
Oh, you did?
There's people there.
Yeah, I didn't know. Nobody asked. But we have another kit in the Granville store that we will probably run, I'm guessing... I don't know. It'll probably be end of July, maybe August-ish. That's probably when we're going to do it. I don't think we have a time limit on this, if I remember right.
Just
That's
next
my
year.
knowledge.
Yeah.
So we're going to hold off, maybe make it a little bit different. Hopefully a Store Champ that maybe we can give away some other cards and other fun things. JJ, how was your weekend?
It was good. It's actually the first weekend here in North Carolina where it's actually warm enough to go out to the pool. So we spent yesterday with the family out here in the pool, just having fun. I played my round 3, the Sith Takers, and I faced off against the first order list. Did really well in the first engagement, and then I just stopped being good after that. So I lost, unfortunately, my 4th round there. So I'm officially 2-2 right now in the Sith Takers league here. But hey, just hoping to finish off strong with a win.
Is there only 5 weeks to the league?
I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it should be 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Zach's, as of yesterday, Zach was like number 1 in the league.
Wow. That's great.
Which is funny because I don't know what list he's running, but he's number 1, and he hasn't had as much success in store champ season.
The TTS is a different beast, man. You know, and not to mention, like after week 2, that's when the point change came. So the way the meta works change as well.
Well, awesome. All right. Well, why don't we go ahead and let's get into some numbers, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
So quickly, I guess before we get into numbers, I have thrown back up our prize support for Michigan GT. Essentially, I have gotten some costs for what we're going to be bringing, some special stuff that we procured that we're making for our Patreon stuff that will be part of the giveaway. If you would like to be entered into the running for a giveaway for some of the prize support that we have, please submit a donation of $5 or more to our PayPal, and you would be entered into the drawing. We've had, I don't know, 3 or 4 people PayPal us some money. So if you would like to be part of that drawing, that will be coming up here closer to October. Make sure you send over some money, and all it does is help give out more prizes. Our goal, just so you know, the reason we're funding it is because I've argued a little bit with Michigan GT guy, and they don't like to sponsor certain types of companies. They want us to donate this stuff, and then they consider it part of your prize support. So I won't be getting reimbursed for them, but what we wanted to do is create some stuff to do giveaways for people who don't do as well, right? So the idea is if you go pay $25, $40 for a tournament, you get cool shit and you get to walk home with it. So that's kind of what our goal is to be able to give out some extra stuff without taking all of the money directly out of my pocket. So if you'd like to be part of the donation to help some of the younger X-Wing players in our area, please sign up and send over whatever floats your boat. So anyway, the first store champ we're going to go over is the Gamer's Wharf. That was the one Alex and I played in this week. We had no 4 O's at all. It was all 3 1s. So there was 5 of us that went 3 1. Matt, Sam, Alex, myself, and D. Alex and I, like we said earlier, tied in SOS again. This time, the victory point difference was a little bit. I'm not running the list that murders everything with Sam this time. So, which I think people were a little surprised at because I kept getting asked, why are you not running Sam? It's like, I don't know, because I'm bored of running fire sprays. That's what it just feels like. I don't know if I want to run fire spray anymore. So I put Sunfeck on the table. But the top 2 lists were Matt and Sam. Both of them actually had to play each other in the last round, and then we decided to do a top cut for 2, and they had to play each other again. So somehow they eat us
too.
Yeah. So and the same scenario. Yeah, which is horrible because the score for them was almost identical. Sam scored a few more points than Matt did the last time. So I don't know. So
wow.
We're going to go ahead and let Alex, why don't you cover the list for Sam?
Sam is running the Resistance as he does. Also, we have adopted him into Michigan. I know he's not really from Michigan. He played in New York and all there, but we adopted him because he lives in Ann Arbor, so he's ours. He's running Zori with Wartime, Plasma Torps, Dorsal in R4, Elo with BB-8 and Predator, Staff Wexley, the boosty one, with R6D8 and HLC, Kaz with R2D2 and Shield Upgrade, and Just Pava with M9G8 and Baffle, which is baffling to me. That droid doesn't have charges on it. I don't know what you're doing. I mean, I get you don't have to use the target lock, but Jessica gets shot more than once in a round. You can't use her ability.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
But also, I didn't want to start champ, so.
Yeah, that's true. I did not. I don't think he actually, when we were playing, used electronic baffle on Jess ever. So
there's no other thing to fill out her points there. It's like you're not going to put automated targeting priority on her. So
no,
that's kind of your best option. So.
That's kind of cool. I mean, like I said, he never used that when I played him, but he did use that M9G8 to great effect. His CAD, I was able to burn his CADs down when I played him, like, very quickly. But then once Kaz went, it was like Zori is, I don't know, either you have to start focusing on her at the beginning of the game or don't bother dealing with her because you're just never gonna put enough damage. Like there's just so much health there. So if you don't start at the beginning, you're just kind of out of luck, I think. But I like the list. Congrats to Sam on winning the store champ. He was the one that actually hosted us in Ann Arbor the weekend before. So good for him being able to come down and get his world's invite so that he is able to now relax and run a couple of more store champs out in the East Coast area. So JJ, why don't you take Matt's list? And Matt hasn't actually played a game of X-Wing since Adepticon, and he came in number 2.
Well, he did very, very well with this list here. So we got a Rebellion list here. We got Han Solo in the modified YT-1300 with the title Ezra Bridger Gunner, Engine Upgrade, Electronic Baffle, Trick Shot, and Novice Technician, which is a kind of an odd way to load out that Han. That's something that we normally don't see, but it's definitely really interesting. Next up, we got Sabine Wren and the TIE Fighter with the Beskar reinforced plating. And then we have VCX Chopper with Dorsal Turret, Variant Turret Gunner, Malko Yarrow, Tristan Wren, and Fire Control System. And then lastly, we have that hot Luke Skywalker, the Battle of Yavin version, to round off that list. You got 4 ships here, 2 of them really tanky and punchy with Chopper and Han Solo. And then Sabine Wren, obviously your objective monkey that's able to go out and contest objectives pretty reliably. And then Luke Skywalker to help punish anything that might ignore him in favor for Chopper or Han Solo. Really, really solid list.
I assume the Novice Technician is on there just to get rid of crits if they focus on them. So.
Yeah, and it also works with Han's ability.
And Han can re-roll them if he's range 0 to 1 of an obstacle, which is really actually super funny.
Yeah, and pretty sure we see him running that by obstacles all the time. He used to love flying against my droids because I had to land on obstacles. And he would be like, "Oh, I get to get my rerolls all the time shooting your stupid droids on obstacles." Yeah, it wasn't super fun. So, all right, let's move on to Windy City Trials. Here, this one was out in Chicago. I have no idea where in Chicago, but this is Nick Sperry's home store. We had, looks like they had 1 4-0, no top cut, and then they had 5 3 and 1s that came out. So it looks like we have Snaggletooth, which I believe is Joey Springle, who was also at our Star Champ last weekend. Everyone's making the rounds. They won with a resistance list with Poe, Trickshot, Lone Wolf, Chewbacca, Rey, Engine Upgrade, and Rey's Millennium Falcon title. Neonum with Heroic, Pattern Analyzer, R6D8, and HLC. Elo with Marksmanship, Heroic, HLC. And Temin with Underslung Blaster Cannon, which I've never seen make cut, and M9G8 and Heroic. So here's the deal. I want to know, somebody needs to reach out to Joey and find out. I want to know if Snap ever got underslung Blaster Cannon off, ever.
Probably not, because he has M9G8, and you generally don't target. I mean, you can target your opponent with that, and that's nice, but if they're good, they're not going to get underslung Blaster Cannon. It's literally because he had no better option for 2 points there.
Well, you can put
electronic baffle. It really helps against outmaneuver. Can't get outmaneuver. The turret upgrade of the underslung.
That is true. I never thought about that. That's actually a really good idea.
I actually considered running that specifically for outmaneuver.
Well, if we go back,
it has crossed my mind.
If we go back up, he had Temin. Oh, he used HLC and R6D8. I see. Mm-hmm. And they just switched the droids around on there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's actually really nice. I like that idea, that particular loadout. I never thought to use Underslung Glancer just to turn off on outmaneuver. That's pretty smart.
I almost brought that to our store champs.
Oh, yeah?
The past couple, yesterday. I almost did it literally specifically for outmaneuver. And because I'm like, well, I love heroic, but I just brought crack shot instead. Because
You just did it because you knew I was running an outmaneuvered droid. That's all.
Yeah, and Cody with outmaneuvered Kylo, with like anyone who's playing any aces.
All right, Alex. I don't know who Ninja
Ninja Elf.
is. I know who that is, but why don't you Ninja Elf? Okay, did I say Ninja Lawful? That's what I
Yes,
said.
he said Ninja Lawful. Yeah.
All right, you have to now go by that. Why don't you tell us what Republic list came in second?
You have SOC Jag and SOC Wolf, SOC Anakin, and then 7B Mace Windu with heightened perception R4P17, and then Contrail with crack shot R7A7, Sync Council, and the best title.
So this list is actually very similar to what Sean from our local ran, except for he ran Oddball arc instead. And then he split Jag into two of those, slide and booster.
Z95s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seems good.
Yeah, this has a lot of firepower. You have Jag and Wolf. Jag's giving out those free locks. Wolf with some of the ability to double tap, get extra rerolls, some very soft mods. I don't know. I guess I'm a little confused. I guess I get the crack shot, but I don't like crack shot on Contrail. I guess it makes sense, but to me it just feels that's 4 points you could put into something else.
That was
like
when
a
Duncan
bomb.
Howard did really well with that crack shot R7A7 combo to push the crit through. So I'm assuming they were just kind of copying from there.
Makes sense. So this list, like I said, Sean has been running Mace, and so we've seen Mace pop up a little bit. What do you guys think about Mace as a 5 point? Because we missed it when we did our points review, but as a 5 point 7B, like is it worth the points?
I think so. I think that that Mace coming out at 5 points for the amount of health that he brings and the different upgrades they could put on Mace, I think that he's a solid option for 5 points, even though he's an I4. Just being able to have 3 force accessible and have just a lot of health in there, I think he's a worthy option for the Republic to fill in the list.
Yeah, I think he's worth the 5 points. You have to be good at flying him, though. He's kind of predictable. I mean, a lot of the Aether sprites are kind of predictable. So, but he loves doing his red maneuvers because it regens his force. So I'm still not entirely sold on heightened perception. Honestly, I understand he's got like 3 force and he can actually spend 1. And if he wants to like try to initiative kill something, that's fine. But I don't know. I feel like there's other options you can do. But he only has 7 points of loadout, so it's not really like, if you're not using R4P17 somewhere else in the list, that's kind of like the standard Mace you see.
Yeah, because what else did you put on for 3 points, you know?
Predator?
Yeah.
Yeah, Predator.
Okay. And Predator might be a better call because you get the boosty, barrel rolly, double maneuvers. If you
Exactly.
want. So I can see Predator. Predator is probably a good choice.
Yeah, if you don't have like a lat or something, or the ability to like share locks, it's not too bad.
All right, so that was the Windy City Trials. It looks like the third place person that came in had the exact same SOS as well. So that's hilarious that these SOSs are filling out like this. Like I've never seen that before. Maybe it was in the past, but they also are flying a very similar-ish list.
Also, both their SOSs are over too. That's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They must have played just basically everyone in the top 6 there.
Yeah.
Probably. This is an interesting list. Impacto had an interesting list, but we're not going to go over it because I committed to only going over top 2, but I really want to go over that guy's list sometime because it's like I don't even know. You call it a salad, but it's like an insane salad, I guess. Right? Like none of what they have in there makes 100% sense. I don't know, maybe JJ will add that to the doc. I really wanted to go over his list at some point. So,
Okay.
all
It's
right,
like
now
a
we're going to
wedge
move on
salad.
to what's that?
It's like a wedge salad where it's like kind of a salad, but also like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
It's a Cobb salad. It's a Cobb salad.
Yeah. Salad. All right, let's move on to Austin Store Champs. They call it Austin 2023, so that's why I just put it in there. This one was one. I think that's Jeremy, right?
Yeah,
That
it's Jeremy
guy's name?
Chamway.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's who I thought that was. So here it looks like they had 1-4-0, and then they also had 5 3-1s. I thought that was pretty interesting as well. They do have some crazy different, a little bit different list here, though this kind of looks similar-ish to what Ryan had been running for our store champ last weekend. JJ, why don't you tell us what Jeremy won the tournament with?
So we see another appearance here, the Rebel Alliance here. We got Tom Solo with Chopper Crew, which is the after you bump, you can perform an action for a damage with Perceptive Co-Pilot, Bistan, Engine Upgrade, and the Millennium Falcon title. Fenra with Predator, Crackshot, Beskar Reinforced Plating, Wedge with Crackshot, Starboard Slash, Kia with Juke, and then Sabine Wren with Lone Wolf. And I gotta say that Chopper actually is really interesting, right? Because if you're trying to go for, like, let's say, scramble, right, and your opponent blocks you, you can essentially take a damage to claim that scramble at I6 with Han if you wanted to, or even do a boost to get out of the arc with Han and just get right past that person if you wanted to. That's a really nice combo there.
I'm not sure if that's what Chopper does.
Yeah,
Chopper's
the Chopper
during
Crew.
during your perform action step, you may perform one action even while stressed.
Yeah.
After you perform an action while stressed, you suffer 1 damage.
Mhm.
So, like, don't you skip your perform action step if you bump someone?
Right, exactly. That you can. It's the flexibility, right? Because you can, if you bump, you can chopper and get that action to boost to get out of arc if you need
skip
to.
your perform action step, though, right? When you bump. So you can't chopper because that's during the perform action step.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. That's right.
Yeah,
Good call. Good
chopper
call.
is just good because
Good
it's
call,
1
good call.
point, and if you're stressed, you can still like just take a damage.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
your
Good point.
action.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can still get your double focus or your boost or whatever.
Yeah.
I was say, because I'll be honest, if with Chopper being that cheap, if you could just bump and take whatever action you wanted, people would just staple Chopper on it. Like, it wouldn't even be a question.
Yeah,
turns
good
into the
point.
Dauntless title.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That'd be crazy. So I'm
It's
not
Rebels.
I'm not sold on
Right,
the
that's
Sabine
fair.
Lone Wolf though. I'm just not sold on that. I guess it doesn't matter because it's a 2-point ship, and I'm not saying we should have to do the best car plating, though that usually makes the most sense. But Lone Wolf on Sabine doesn't move very fast. What do you just run Sabine on the opposite side of the board?
Yeah, for those the like, and I'm going to pick scramble again, where your opponent can place your the scramble all the way on the far side of the board. That allows you basically to have Sabine to just contest that objective by herself, and just have those passive mods with an evade and lone wolf to reroll while the rest of your list is going out to get everybody else. Same thing with salvage. You could just keep to a corner of the board and just hard one around and just have that passive lone wolf with an evade. Makes Sabine very tanky.
I guess I guess I don't have enough luck with Lone Wolf ever. So
Well, that's if you really push hard for just solely making Sabine an objective monkey.
Yeah.
yeah, and then Keo, it's interesting to see Juke on Keo.
Yeah.
We've not seen that before. It makes sense because most of the time my Keo's either target locking or evading anyway. But it is a little different seeing Keo without some sort of a munitions. Which
Normally
means,
we see proton rockets is normally what we see with them.
and I'd be interested. So Jeremy had 89 mission points. So my assumption is, I guess I didn't look at each each of the different ones, but my assumption is that he plays this list to play objectives, and then Finn and Han are the ones that you have to worry about, because Finn being that I6 that can try to murder you, and Han just murders things. So, and Han likes to live a lot longer than you would expect.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting that Kyo does shoot last in that, or can shoot last in that list. So that Juke is the most effective if you're shooting last.
True.
So,
all
I
right.
wonder how many times he got off that starboard with Wedge.
I have no idea, and I actually don't disagree with that. But I would put the other thing turret on him if I was going to do that, I guess.
Yeah, the not sensitive controls, whatever
the one is, yeah.
The A-wing equivalent of is the vectored cannons.
Yeah.
Starboard's really good on the RZ2s for that exact reason, to rotate backwards. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I actually think that would be worth a try with Wedge, but then your crack shot kind of becomes meaningless, and that just needs to become a different upgrade, at that point. But either which way, I don't know. I do like that starboard slash on Wedge, but I think I would run it with the vector cannons personally. So
you have starboard on my Lulo, and occasionally it goes off. Yeah. It's really funny when they do, because you just blow past them, and you're just like, well, I'm range 1, so I'm just going to focus rotate. You have a strain. I have N98, so have fun.
All right. The next list that Jeremy beat out was from Vomit Blood. All right.
I think it's pronounced Vomit Blood.
Vomit Blood. All right. He has kind of a similar staple to what we've been seeing. He has Boy Vader, Boy Mauler, Boy Backstabber, Vizier with Hark and Seven Sister, and then the last one is a TIE bomber making a appearance with saturation salvo, bomblet generator, and barrage rockets. With
that didn't take very long.
Bren. What's that?
That didn't take very long.
No, and it's not surprising seeing these bombers on the table. I like the bombers, and I'm tempted to pack some up for my locals this week.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely like
good.
Good.
Oh, well, I mean, like Tomax is pretty good because he's an I5, and you probably still have your focus result for the barrage rockets, and also bomb generators, which is really nice. But I don't know. I've made this list. I haven't played around with it yet, but it seems really solid.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely been seeing a lot of saturation salvo barrage rockets on a lot of these bombers. At 3 points, having the essentially 3 I5s, right? Because you got Backstabber, Mauler, and Tomax, along with Vader to go in there. Backstabber and Mauler can help themselves to make them 3 dice shots, and then Tomax just needs that focus to get that barrage rocket off. Vizier can help coordinate either one of those ships in there, as well as Darth Vader, and you have a lot of offensive firepower coming in at you. The list is very susceptible to crits, but it's still a very solid list for what it can do.
Yeah, I like having bombers with Captain Jonas, so you don't have to spend your focus with barrage rockets, because Jonas gives you the rerolls. Because like bombers, they just don't have shields, right? So if you don't have a focus token, you get hit, you just start feeling real bad.
They just melt.
So. Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Yeah, want to give a shout out to our teammate from Team Endgame, now named Team whatever JJ.
Star Killer.
Star Killers. He went 3-1 as well, and he came in at number 6 with 4 bombers and a decimator.
Nice.
And he was in our Discord giving me shit because I ranked Empire so low.
So. I mean, I also ranked Empire second to last.
Hey, I was the only one that believed in the Empire.
Yeah, you got your beliefs in the wrong spot, buddy.
What'd you say?
Yeah. Which tournaments did Empire win? None. Weird.
All right, let's keep moving. let's keep moving. We're making some pretty good time though, so we should be able to get to quite a few lists tonight, which will be fun because we got some user submitted lists and a few Alex submitted lists that I guess we missed going over last week. We have the next store champ is Scattered Deck in Washington. We had a Republic list take this one with a very interesting take. They had 1-4-0 and 3 3-1s. I believe we've covered both of these guys on our cast before, if I remember right, last season. So, but
yeah.
Alex, go ahead and tell us what the Sands of Blue ran.
So, they ran Boost with Predator, Slider with Predator, SOC Axe, SOC Kickback, Click with Marksmanship R3, Bash and Seismics, and 7B Anakin with Predator R4P17 and Shield Upgrade. You can tell they're American because they ran Anakin 7B. They didn't run that in the UK at all. The whole tournament had no 7B Anakins, which is crazy. But yeah, that's it's a nice mixture of offense between like Anakin and the fact that you have like 6 ships, and it's a nice mix of defense with the SOC evade passing and click. I still prefer, dedicated on my Z95s, but Predator is also a 3-point option. Yep. Not too bad if you fly them well.
All right. Yeah, and I think that's kind of an interesting list, to be perfectly honest with you. Obviously, it's got 2 Torrents in it that don't like to go anywhere. So,
well, one of them has Diamond Boron, the other one has Barrage Rockets. Like, you can be offensive with them. They don't necessarily just have to take the evade every round. So you can get some offense, and Diamond Boron's pretty nice with higher ship counts.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like I said, this list is definitely different than what we had been seeing. So it's nice to see a little bit of a change up. Again, obviously minus the Anakin 7B. But if you think about this list, that 7 points could be churned into 2 other things too. Like, very sadly, you can have another 4 and 3 point ship, and now instead of just having the 6 ships, you have a 7 ship list again, which. Maybe that's what I need to put on the table this week.
Honestly, this just proves that you can run Republic without having to get arcs involved, right?
I don't know. I don't know if Alex would agree with you on that.
Well, they want to store champ. I haven't done that, so
we haven't ran this list yet.
I don't particularly want to run that list, just in general, not my play style. So. But I can see why it's effective.
All right. What is the next one, JJ?
All right, so this one's from Joe Cass, which I believe he plays quite a bit on GSP. This one is a Rebel Alliance list. We got Han Solo with Trickshot, Co-Pilot, Perceptive Co-Pilot, and Bistan in the title. Luke Skywalker from Battle Yavin, Wedge with Marksmanship and Crackshot, Keo Benzi with Lone Wolf and Concussion Missiles, and then Sabine Wren with Beskar Reinforced Plating. Another variation of this archetype that we see here. Just really solid all around. This definitely can contest a lot of objectives, and you got the good firepower from Luke and Han to take down ships as needed, with Wedge and Keo taking shots of opportunity as they need to. Really solid archetype that we're seeing now from Rebels.
Yeah, this one has Keo with Lone Wolf. So it's like everybody has one ship with Lone Wolf now. Is that the only reason people are taking it? Is because it's like
I think so, because they're like 3 points. Why would I put Predator? I can have Lone Wolf. That works on defense. I don't care that I have 5 other ships. Just fly them alone. Yeah. They won't die by themselves.
I guess I'm really hung up on that Lone Wolf though. I guess
I don't like putting Lone Wolf on a list that has like
5 ships,
4 or more. Yeah, I don't get it. So
yeah, I'm a little confused by that too. But I mean, again, whatever. I guess so. We are not the champions of the store champ season Alex. You and I are
It's true.
destined to be the bench warmers.
Like I chose that name for a reason.
That's so. Are you going to go to the one in Muskegon in July?
I actually am going to go to the one. in
God damn
Muskegon.
it! See, now it's gonna be the same thing again. It's gonna be me and Alex.
Eventually, there will be enough store champs that everyone there will have their invite already. It'll bounce down to us in 7th and 8th.
All right. So what do we? Okay, hold on. We're gonna take a sidebar since we're doing really well on time. What are we gonna do, Alex, if we get the same SOS three times in a row? Like, there's got to be something that's got to happen.
Well, you got to apply to the Guinness World Book of Records, number one.
All right. I like it. What else?
Take each other out for a drink after.
Oh, that doesn't sound as fun.
We have to do a shot every time we have the same SOS.
I didn't say I got everything. All right. Maybe that could work. I could see that working. I could see that one working.
I don't know. We can go to larger tournaments.
I think that's what we have to do because we keep freaking getting the same number. Like, it's just like me and Alex. I don't know. Seems weird, right?
It's only natural.
It's a little disheartening, but you know.
I mean, at least we haven't had to play each other yet, right?
Not
There
yet,
is
no.
that. We've been to 2 in a row and neither one of us have played each other. So,
Well, you played the rest of my team, or my podcast.
well, I know,
Played
and
those.
technically speaking, I haven't. I don't think I've played. I think you're the only one that I played before, other than Ryan. I always somehow got drafted with Ryan. Every time I get stuck playing Ryan.
I usually have to play him too at every tournament we go.
Yeah,
Usually
this
the
time-
first round, though. He has to submarine his way back up.
So, can I just ask? Like, we haven't looked at all the Hans, but is this just going to be kind of be the Hans staple? Something with Perceptive Copilot, Bistan, and then like Trick Shot. Is that like the?
Yeah, I think that'd be like my kind of preferred build of Han, if I'm going to run Han. But I feel like Lando is just a better value, honestly. I mean, I get Han being like the i6, large base boost, super good. I've always been a massive fan of Han. But if I have like 4 other ships, and especially if I have something like Kyo with Procket, right? If I have Lando, they can now, reposition, like maybe take the focus during their action, and then I can Lando over like a barrel roll, link that to a boost to actually get off the Procket, or give them a lock or something so they have a double modded Rocket. Lando's just really good at facilitating other parts in your list, and Han doesn't do that. But also, Han will push the satellite button after Lando,
Exactly.
and that's a real big part of it. Like, there's Han 1-on-1. No other ship other than like Poe Falcon, because I think Poe Falcon's the best 1-on-1 ship there is in the game. But no one's going to beat Han 1-on-1. Especially if he's like still has most of his shields or whatever.
Yeah, Han's one of those ships I feel you have to take down like right away, right? Otherwise, he's almost undefeatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was playing Matt in our game, he got real scared because I got Han down to like 3 health in 3 rounds. In 2 rounds concurrently with that round, like I killed his boy Luke in 2 rounds because he had the audacity of bullseyeing Merle in front of Ray. And that doesn't work. So, like, you can kill Han. You just have to like hope the people who playing Han haven't played Han a really long time, so they're in a corner. Or you just got to put like 3 ships on them, or like 2 really heavy hitting ships. Like I was chasing him with Crackshot Snap and like my Lulo, and they were just plinking away enough damage for the rest of my list came there. He took a couple shots from Ray, and that's not anything Han wants there.
Yeah,
He
and I
gets to
think
reroll his dice, but he still only has one.
yeah, and I think that that's the big thing is in question. You know, like right with the Han versus Lando debate is that I6. Like, is that I6 worth it, or is the double action it's worth it? And if you think about it, people are replacing Han or the chopper that the VCX that we had seen with Han, right? Um, and I don't know if that's any better or not. I guess.
And if you look back at all the store champs we just covered, except for the one in Grand Rapids, well, a little bit of the one in Grand Rapids, they all have, like, the winners have I6s. Like, Snaggletooth has Poe. Jeremy Jambley has Han and Fenn. The Washington one had 7B Anakin. The UK one, spoilers, will also feature I6s. So the I6s are out there, and I understand why bringing Han would be very important in your list, kind of like that.
That's kind of what I wonder. I think we'll see maybe in the next month or so. We'll kind of look at it and see in the meta is the Han worth it, or is that VCX worth it going forward? And maybe it's a playstyle thing. Is Han easier to play than a VCX? Probably. I would think so.
Yeah, I mean, the VCX just suffers from maneuverability. I mean, yes, it does have a pretty big gun with a 4 natural dice, naturally being able to do more damage than Han could, unless you include trick shot, and that just really requires you to fly a very specific way in order for you to match that same type of power. At the same
Han
time,
wants to do though, because he's being
true.
around. Use that.
Right, but then it's easy as if you apply enough pressure to Han, Han can eventually find himself getting too far away from the fight and has to take a turn or two to try to get back in there. Whereas the VCX has that staying power to just point its big gun towards the center and just stay there for a while and hopefully take out an equal amount of cost of ships in return, right? So it's different play styles, and it really also depends on the pieces that you put around both those ships that really give it that list and identity. So it's for 2 different playing styles, but ideally Han at I6 just with the option to being able to boost on a large ship that can do a 4 straight. I mean, you can cover a lot of ground with the Falcon, and being able to attack out of the side arc is a very big benefit for Han. So yeah.
He's fastest ship in the galaxy.
Heck yeah.
In the game.
Illegally modded, yeah.
Ugh. All right.
Customized, sir. Modified, yeah.
Let's move on to the not store champ that I have in here. It's a regional championship. The regional champ UKGE Worlds Qualifier held in the UK this weekend. We had 97 people show up for this event, and we're going to do some faction breakdowns before we get into the top 8 lists. So it looks like we had quite a few Rebel and quite a few Empire show up. JJ, can you tell me what the anomaly in the top 8 is about that? What's the anomaly there?
I don't. I mean, CIS being 24% of like these ships there. I mean, that is pretty huge representation there for it. Despite the fact that Empire, CIS being in the top cut rate, being at 25%, whereas Empire made 22.68%, equal to Rebels for that, and Scum only really being represented at 4.12, if I'm reading that right, for the faction distribution, right?
They're not there. That's the point of that. There is no Empire. They're in the negatives, my friend. I don't know why his graph must not take out negatives. So ignore the numbers.
Yeah, I can't see it there. Yeah, I definitely can see it.
Yeah, only the Republic, First Order, Rebels, and 1 Separatist list made top 8.
Wow.
25% cut is there 4 Separatist lists, and someone made cut with one of them.
Yeah, and so your cut faction percent, what this is this is what we used to do when I used to do it manually. And so what he's saying is Separatists came out almost 21% higher than predicted, based on their numbers. So that's what these numbers are showing. So we should have seen Galactic Empire in there, and they are negative, and that is something to behold, my friend, who predicted Empire was the best faction in the game.
No, I said Republic was. Empire came in second. Look,
Mhm.
Empire already took Richmond Open. They've already gotten their store champ. It's fine.
This isn't a Sword Champ. This is the regional, like, we pay for your hotel room type thing. So
Yeah, this is also Europe, and Europe is questionable on some things.
They use metric system, man. Come on.
yeah, it's better than the U.S. So real quick, we'll just cover the squad size and points. Obviously, we're seeing the 5 ship count. Before we were seeing 4.5. Now we're seeing 5. So their tweak essentially allowed for us to be taking 5 ships in the majority of the lists. No, so not surprising. There was only two 7 ship lists at all, which is hilarious because I wonder if they were both separatists
Vultures.
or if
No,
it
no,
was
one of them
actually
made top
somebody
8.
else.
The Republic list is the 7 ship list.
Oh, the
Who
one we
came
were
in
talking
third?
about earlier. Oh my god.
Well, the upcoming one, yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the 7 point. One of the 7 ship lists is a Republic list.
All right, I think I need to put that on the table now. So, all right. So anyway, I just want to cover real quick. So we do see the change. We do see the change that A&G gave us, and I think that's okay. Having that extra ship is not a big deal, especially because they're killing some of the firepower on some of the ships. So,
No 3 ship lists either.
nope, no 3 ship list. I think people are banning them.
Well, people are playing like double Falcon VCX or whatever, or trying to make some sort of large base beef kind of lists, like a gauntlet, 2 decimators or whatever. So it's nice to see that those people are not actually bringing that to a serious tournament.
So the next we kind of look at pilots to see what was the most used pilot, and guess what? They didn't touch Malaris. Malaris comes in again as the #1 pilot out there. Interesting though, the 3 bloody bombers have taken over the top spot. Oh my god! So here's all of those bombers: Jonas, Tomex, and Major Reimer. So if you are not flying Empire and have to want to practice, make sure you find somebody that's running bombers, because my guess is that all these lists had most of these lists had all 3 of them in it.
Yeah.
All those Empire lists with all those bombers, and none of them made cut.
They were most popular though.
That's true. A lot of people brought them.
Then we have Boy Luke. Obviously, that's an easy. That's an easy. If you have 5 points in Rebels, you're probably taking Luke. Then Kylo Ren, and I'm guessing that's the Whisper one, based on the image.
Yeah.
Which also makes sense because it went down a point for whatever reason, and you can just run it. Sabine, obviously the most included, and then Boy Vader, Elo, Han, 5th brother, which is really cool to see, and Temin, all coming in high appearances.
And
I think-
9 out of the 10 resistance lists brought Snap, and 10 out of the 10 resistance lists brought Elo.
Which is your favorite ship, right?
I never use Elo.
I know you don't. You hate Elo.
I can have Lulo.
It's just funny because Corey loves Elo. That's like his favorite ship. And now everybody's running Elo, so except for, I don't know, did Corey run Elo this weekend? I don't think he did. I'll have to go back and look.
I'd be surprised.
Sam didn't need one.
On to upgrades. Marksmanship being the top one. Well, for 1 point, of course you're going to take it. Help with crits. Braz Ratchet and Salvo and FCS all coming in next. I'm guessing because of the bombers, partly.
Wondering where that FCS is coming from.
Probably from
Bombers?
like Maverick. No, Bombers can't take SES.
Right, so it'd be like maybe some B wings in there too. B wings. Oh,
The
SFs.
X-Wings.
There we go. It's
Yeah,
SF.
the SS and Merrick Stell, as well as Juno as well, being able to take that.
Then we have Predator. Predator still coming in hot. Bomblet Generator is what's the most popular. Bombs nowadays. I don't even know if I own any of those little tokens. I'll have to go back and find them because I don't know if I own any of those tokens anywhere in my kit.
Well, if you don't, I can definitely help you out with that.
All right. Advanced optics, pattern analyzer, magpulse, and Beskar plating all making top appearance. Nothing to me. None of this seems very out there.
Out of place. Yeah.
No. Trick
a lot
shot,
of tech
very
upgrade
popular.
stuff.
Hmm?
A lot of tech upgrade stuff with the optics and the pattern analyzer.
Yeah.
That's interesting that they're both up there like that.
Well, I think what they're doing is because they're adding them to more than just the original factions that take them. Now people, I mean, you're more inclined to take them. I don't like advanced optics as much as I like pattern analyzer. Like, to me, pattern analyzer is the one I would be taking all the time. Personally, I like it.
Yeah. Well, and the T70s being 4 points, you get a lot more tech upgrades. But I'm surprised optics is actually that high.
You know what I need? Give Sunfac a tech slot, please. Let me have a tech slot so I could run pattern analyzer on Sunfac. That would be awesome.
What red moves are you doing with Sunfox? What are you doing?
Nothing. But I would do them. I would do red moves if I had
My
pattern
sloop.
analyzer. They have sloops in like 5Ks.
Yeah.
I would 100% still use it. You'll never know what Sunfac's doing.
If Sunfox is like 3 sloop or 5K, I don't care what he's doing anymore.
You should. Well, I could, if I do that with pattern analyzer, I'm guessing that I can still use my tractor functions and why not?
Nope.
Why?
Because that occurs outside of the timing window for pattern analyzer.
That's stupid. Then
It's
we need
fair,
to
imbalanced.
errata it and give pattern analyzer to Sunfac.
Excuse me, that is the Num's territory. Leave him alone.
Oh, fuck Neonum. How many things did he win this weekend?
About the same as Sunfac. Yeah.
Snaggletooth won it in Chicago. He had Neonum.
All right. Outside of that, nobody else. So there you go. That's the justification to give Sunfac pattern analyzer and let him tractor people after he does the sloop. There we go. You've just justified it for me, Alex. Thank you. All right, let's move on to our top cut. I don't know any of these names. I know who Doc is. That's Dom Flanagan. Ken is Bartos, by the way. I learned that this weekend. I did not know his first name was Ken. Utini is the gentleman that always makes the cool tokens and stuff like that over in Europe. He was the one that did our Star Champ or our GT kit last year. I don't know any of the other people though because of the name. So looks like we had 2 5-1s, 3 5-1s that all had draws, and then the rest of them were 5-1 with losses.
Like, how do you even manage to get that? It's impressive.
Yeah. That I do not know, honestly.
Well, there was a top 8 cut, so maybe they ID'd to just get into the cut, but that seems kind of weird.
Yeah, they might have ID'd just because it just makes it so you don't have to play that other game, right?
And for those who don't know what ID is intentional draw, by the way.
I'm guessing 2 of those are. Right? Because, it would make sense.
They could have also done what I did in Richmond Open is, play each other and then actually draw unintentionally.
All right. Well, there's that too. Alex, do you want to take the winner or the runner-up list?
I'll take the winning list. That's fine.
All right.
It's
Tell us what
Bartosh's
Bartos
list.
run.
Yeah, actually, I believe this is what Mark's running in whatever league he's playing in right now. It's Han Solo, shocker, Perceptive, Chopper, Bistan, Engine Upgrade, and the title. Boy Luke, Rocket Keo, A-Wing Wedge with Marksmanship and Trick Shots, and Sabine with Beskar. Interesting that he went for the trick shot instead of like crack shot.
Yeah.
But I didn't win a regional, so
Yep. Very similar Han that we've seen so far. Yeah, a little surprising. There's your Procket Keo, which Bartos ran those other A-Wings, right, with Prockets on them. The ones he could fit for Worlds. So this is essentially him getting, I don't know, he got what, 2 more points in this list?
yeah, because he was running like Han with what 4 A-Wings.
Yeah.
So he knocked down like Tycho.
For Luke.
Knocked one of the A-Wings down to Sabine, and then like bumped Tycho up to Luke, which seems like very good. Good thing there. So, and Wedge A-Wing is probably a little bit better than Urfel or Hobby, which is what he was running before that.
Yeah. I love me some Wedge A-Wing. I don't know. I don't like the trick shot though, but maybe it's just because you can get it off, I guess, and it's kind of like Wedge is similar to an outmaneuver without it being outmaneuver. It's like, hey, I'm just going to reduce your dice, and I'm going to increase it. So if you are a 3 dice or 3 agility behind an obstacle, you're still a 3 agility, but Wedge gets an extra dice, for it for the trouble. I don't know. I guess
if
I kind of like
setting it up, it works.
Yeah.
Not my play style, but I could see why you would run that. So
Yeah, and the piece that kind of surprises me a little bit too is that we're seeing the Rebels do so well here without having a very good coordinating or token sharing piece like it with Hera Syndulla and the A-Wing or AP5 in the Sheet-to-P shuttle being able to produce extra tokens. It's just interesting to see a more offensive-minded list that we're seeing a lot more often now with the Rebels, especially with Han Solo and company.
yeah, I like it. JJ, who is our runner up, and what did he win or run?
So this one is Martin Chivers with the First Order. He's running quick draw here with Swarm Tactics, Fanatical, Target Synchronizer, and Special Forces Gunner. Kylo Ren in the TIE Whisper with Instinctive Aim, Brilliant Evasion, Concussion Missiles, Advanced Optics, and the Enhanced Jamming Suite. Then we have Valorous with Cluster Missiles. We have Scorch in the TIE Bomber with Feedback Ping,
Scorch.
Feedback Ping, Cluster Missiles, and Bomblet Generator, and then Whirlwind with Fanatical, Marksmanship, Cluster Missiles, Optics, and the Jamming Suite here to round off that list. I definitely do like the Swarm Tactics on Quick Draw paired with Whirlwind if you're able to get that combined together, just being able to get those 2 I6 shots off fast. And then following up with Malorus and Kylo Ren to finish off any potential opponents there. I did play a list actually with the First Order that had 3 of the bombers that were able to equip cluster mines. That system phase boost and drop is still really, really good. Although in this case it's with Bomblet Generator, but being able to get a target lock for having them come near the Bomblet Generator with Feedback Ping is really nice to set up those cluster missiles, and you can essentially talon roll if you need to, and still have that mod on offense. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. I like the list. So this is gonna date me. We go back to the original Adepticon, the very first one that I went to with you, JJ. And when we played in the, we'll call it the secondary tournament. On
the
Sunday,
Redemption. Yeah.
I was running Whirlwind, and I think I was running Null. I don't know what's the stupid TIE fighter that's the I-7 or whatever.
Yeah, no.
And I was running Swarm Tactics on Null with Whirlwind together and doing the same thing. Obviously, it's better on Quick Draw than it was on Null, but because when Whirlwind can engage at the I-6 or I-7, they get their focuses right away. So you can joust with them and not be as scared as before.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, let's move in to our top 4. We have another Rebel list. This one is from Tazzini, and I have no idea who Tazzini is, but they ran one of JJ's favorite ships, the B-Wing. They have Gina with proton cannons, proton bombs, FCS, Corn Horn with Hopeful, Magpulse, R3, and S-Foils, Boy Luke, Bodica with Mando Optics, Beskar and Predator, and Keo with Prockets. And I love that Bodica.
Oh,
That's the Bodica that says, yep, I'm going to come after you, and you must kill me. You must invest the ability to kill Bodica. Otherwise, she's just going to be there double tapping you. And it's dirty. Dirty.
Yeah, don't know why Rebels don't have range restrictions, but Bodica just shoot a dude all the way on the other side of the map. Whatever, you shot him, I'm going to shoot you.
Yeah, I'm surprised they have not. I'm surprised they have not eroded that yet. You would think that'd be something on their list that they would want to do, right?
I mean, they made Kit Fisto technically has unlimited range. No one ever used him, but he has unlimited range too. So it's not like they're actively not putting it in the game.
There's precedent for it. Yep.
Yeah, it's just weird. But it makes it probably the most useful Fang Fighter.
I don't know. I mean, could you make the argument that because it says after you perform a primary, or after you may perform a bonus primary attack, but technically you can only attack in your attack arc. So how does it shoot beyond?
Yeah, but
3?
So you don't attack the attacker, right? So you can choose to attack a different target. So, and it gets even crazier when you start adding things in like Hopeful that allows you to boost or take a focus, right? With Bodica, especially that boost, right? You can get into range 1 of a different target and possibly initiative kill them. That is something that could be potentially really, really strong with Bodica at that point.
Yeah, Bodica attacks the attacker.
So
Bodica's after another friendly ship defends. If you're not depleted, you can perform a bonus attack against the attacker.
Oh, against the attacker. Okay, sorry. Yeah. I'm thinking like quick draw type ability. Yeah.
So like the attacker could be shooting at some guy range 3 of the attacker, and you could be range 3 of the person
Yeah.
So like you could be like range 6 of your ally, but still attack the person attacking. It's kind of silly.
Okay, I see. Okay, I feel that. Oh, I see what you're saying. But as I say, I didn't think that Bodica worked where you could just shoot anybody on the board. I thought it had to be in your arc or whatever.
No, it's just if they shot someone else on your team, you can shoot that person if you're not depleted already. Very comical if you have Magpulse missiles. Will be right off.
All right. Let's move on to Futel. Futel, play the best or die like the rest. Died in the top 4. JJ, what list is this, per se?
And so this one here is a first order list. We got Midnight in the TIFO with Predator and Crankshot, Quick Draw with Fanatical, Special Forces Gunner, FCS and Shield Upgrade, Malorus with cluster missiles, Lieutenant Hughes with Proud Tradition Pattern Analyzer and Special Forces Gunner, and then Kylo Ren to top off the list with Instinctive Aim, Malice Predator, and Concussion Missiles with the Enhanced Jamming Suite. Turns out you can fit 4 really good TIE Fighters with a cheap Kylo Ren. It is really nice to see this. This is a very offensive-minded list here. I'm actually interested to see if he used Midnight's target lock on Lieutenant Hughes to mod their shots after Midnight takes a shot at somebody. But yeah, pretty great list. I like it.
All right, next list, Alex. What's the next Rebel list that we see? Because we got 2 more of them.
Okay, it is Tamper Magnitude. Interesting name. He has Fen Rao and the Fang Fighters. Because remember, if you want to fly Fang Fighters, you fly Rebels. And he's got Clan Training, Swarm Tactics, and Beskar. Boy Hall Auckland. Auckland. I can never say his last name. Boy Luke. A-Wing Wedge with Starbird and Predator. And then Bodica again with Mando Optics, Beskar Reinforced Plating, and Predator. I'm assuming they probably flew the Fangs together and Swarm Tactics Bodica up to 6. Right, so she can shoot and then shoot again, so the deplete doesn't actually penalize her for the second shot.
That's pretty good.
So how does it not penalize her for the second shot?
Oh, because if she shoots first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, I see. Yep.
Yeah, and then you get the deplete after you do like the revenge shot. So
yep. So your revenge shot's not coming in at I6; it's coming in whenever somebody else shoots.
Right.
Gotcha.
So you don't end up like hurting yourself on that deplete.
All right, I like that. That's cool. I like that. I think that's a unique little take on Fen there. Though I will say this list feels it feels like it would kind of fall apart a little bit with Bodica and Fen. Like if you don't roll good, you're kind of just dead.
That's Fang Fighters.
But
if you get shot at range 0, 2, or 3, they're kind of iffy.
I mean, can you imagine them starting to roll up to a double tapping VCX?
They have the ability to not get shot by the VCX. They can move out of the way.
They would have to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that. I like that use of Fen though. I think that's really cool. And what does Fen say too? He's start of engagement, right?
When a ship
red token.
When a ship engages.
The ship engages.
Yep.
Oh my god. So if you did a red maneuver or didn't get rid of your deplete, when a ship engages, you immediately remove the deplete.
Mm-hmm.
So dirty. Oh, that's so dirty.
You could have also done your revenge shot and then activate,
got your deplete,
remove your deplete, and then shoot someone.
Oh my god!
So it works a couple ways.
Oh, so you can have 2 full dice shots at going in. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it works too. Like Hall the Y-wing, right? He has advanced proton torpedoes. So if he's by Fen, because you do the focus, you have precise astromech, so you do a red lock action, so you have double modded torp. But then you engage, you're going to be range 1 of them, right? In their front, probably in their front arc or Y-wing. So then you'd actually shed the stress from the precise astromech too.
So good. All right, I like that list. That's a very unique take on that on what we've been seeing. JJ, what did the next top 8 run? Higo 186. I'm guessing they are from the 186 Squadron.
Yep. So we got a Galactic Republic list here. We got Contrail with Crackshot R7A7 with Sync Council on the best title, Kickback with the Siege Coruscant version, Slider and Boost with Dedicated, Oddball with Plasma Torpedoes, R4P Astromech and Sync Council with the Alpha 3 Besh title, Click with Click with Dedicated, R3 Astromech, Sync Console, and the Besh title, and then Padme making a return here, dropping down to 4 points with Marksmanship, Passive Sensors, and Proton Torpedoes to round out that list. Really, really interesting list, although I gotta say I'm not a fan of Padme without Lumi. But still, this is a really nice list. Slider and boost being able to provide those defensive rerolls for the rest of the list is really nice, and kickback also being able to pass off the evade token with Born for this is really strong to keep the rest of this list alive.
This is an Alex list when it comes to dedicated. There's three versions of it in there,
and yet it's not enough. You know, I have used like 3 dedicateds on one roll before. So,
oh my gosh!
Well, when you blank out, and you can do it one at a time. So if you don't get the result, you just keep going down the line. You don't have to reroll them all at once.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I like this list actually. It's very defensive. It doesn't have a lot of offense, unfortunately. Your offense is Padme with a passive sensor Protorp, so it's not really double modded, and you get a plasma from Oddball, who's also probably not double modded. But I mean, you have Sync Council, so I guess Contrail can pass on the lock. So it can work. And if you're next to Oddball and Contrail, I've made a list like this before with Sync Council. You can actually pass it over to Padme as well. So Padme can just like roll up with a focus and then get past a lock at range 1.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and the passive sensors let you take the calculate too if you want. So if you get the lock, you could. If you just in case, you could always take that calculate. You don't need that lock.
Yeah. See, I think I'm more of a fan of Juke with like a plasma torpedo on Padme. But I mean, it's just a preference.
Yeah, because the Juke really works well with their ability.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, minus the crack shot, I like this list. Like this is something I would actually put on the table. So
if you really want to facilitate it more, you can do dedicated R3 in Sync Council and seismic charges. That's the Contrail I run, okay?
all right. We can go all in on dedicated, baby. I don't like crack shot on Contrail. I'm sorry. It's just not my... I get why people do it, but...
It is pretty disrespectful to roll up to someone. You cancel one of their focus results with Contrail's ability. They can't mod their other focus results with Padme, and you crack shot their last defense dice.
Ooh, that's really good, actually.
It's disrespectful. I don't think it's particularly good. I mean, it can happen. If you're going to run Sync Council and stuff, and especially if you have like Padme, I would much rather have like R3 somewhere in the list with your Sync Council user. I mean, I guess Click does it, but you're not spending those locks.
No.
It's literally just the 1 point left over.
All right, the next list is by Dom Flanagan. Nantex are misunderstood. This list is the other list I've been playing around with, though I'm still not sold on Grievous over dropping down to Volan and Heavy. I like my Volan DOS quite a bit, and I really like Reroll Man because I still get my outmaneuver that I don't get on Grievous at all. But Dom is running Ensnare, Graphilic Deflection, and Targeting Computer, Sunfac, Dirge with Proton Cannons, Delayed Fuses, the title, and Proton Bombs. Interesting to see the Delayed Fuses over Marksmanship. ShareTech with Ensnare, Grievous with Marksmanship, Shield, Upgrade, Impervium, and Solus 1. And to round out the list, an Energy Shell Independent Calculate droid called O81. So, very interesting list, similar-ish to what I ran, minus... Well, whatever. I didn't run 2 Nantex. I had thought about running 2 Nantex. I just don't know if I can do it because I don't know how to keep Sunfac alive if I have to run him close to ShareTech, But
you don't have to run him close to ShareTech.
I guess not. But if you want a double tractor, like a medium base, you do.
Yeah, there's a medium base, I guess, but
I will tell you.
I don't
you
believe
want
in Nantex right now.
You want to know what the funniest thing I did all weekend? I did not know. I did not know you could tractor your own ship with Sunfac. And I tractored my stupid little stupid HMP to get bullseye, so when he shot he gave a strain out afterwards. Like, I'm sure it didn't do anything to affect the game, but it was hilarious because like it's like, oh, I could just track through this guy closer and get a better shot. Gonna do that. I think I did that to Sean, is who I did that to.
When I played a lot of the Nantex, I would tractor beam my outmaneuver Grievous to arc dodge large base ships because they have the I would approach on a corner and then there's like Lando or whatever. I'll figure it out later, so I would ensnare them to whichever direction they're not going to get shot in.
That's hilarious. You know, that would probably work really well on reroll Droid Man. Because he doesn't care as much if he's not getting shot at. And he's
anything without maneuver.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, can I have my outmaneuver Grievous back? I just want him back.
I have my handoff back. That was the most disrespectful thing I've ever done in X-Wing. Back, like, when they first came out and they didn't have, like, an official ruling, you'd be able to, like, ensnare another Nantex who didn't already have a tractor, and then tractor them, and then ensnare something else off of it.
Oh, my God. All right, that's bullshit.
Okay. Yes.
That's some bullshit right there.
Oh, yeah, the golden age of the net. Yeah.
That's how I almost won that regional. Was just doing stupid things like that.
All right, last list, and then we're going to move on to user-submitted list. Louis is running the last Rebel list in our top 8. Alex, what is this list, and why is it only 4 ships?
Okay, so it's a little bit different. It has Boudica, Boy, Luke, and Han, but with Hera. So it's got Boudica with shield upgrade and clan training, going for more defensive Fang Fighter, which I appreciate. Boy Luke, Trick Shot Perceptive Bistan title Han, and then Hera with Swarm Tactics. Doing the same thing like the Swarm Tactics Fen Rao. I assume you probably put it next to the Fang Fighter. They can both keep up with each other because they're both really fast ships.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, Hera does whatever token shenanigans she needs to do. I mean, you got 2 I6s and I5.
Yeah, I mean, Hera basically acts as the evade battery here, right? All she has to really do is just take that evade token to help set up Boudica with good defense or target lock if she needs to help Boudica with the target lock and pass that over there. I almost wish that there was a better way to provide Hera more tokens in this list so that way you can provide everybody else, but then at that point you have to sacrifice most likely Han in order to get more ships that way.
But just bring Lando instead of Han.
That's true.
Just throwing that out there. Another reason why you could bring Han is just to give Hera more tokens.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely right.
So, but
no Lando.
I6. Yeah, so I mean, it's solid. I don't think I would run that myself, just because I'm not exactly sure how I would do a lot of objective things. But it's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, why don't we get into user submitted lists for our roll call series. All right, so tonight we have some user submitted lists. Let's go through a few of them. I don't know, guys. Last week we just picked our favorite ones. Do we want to do the same thing tonight and see how many we get through?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so who wants to go first?
I'll do this. I'll go first here. So this one's going to be the first order. It's the second list that we have submitted here. This one is from Crispy. This is a list that I actually like. It's an art type that's similar to what we've been seeing in here, but this has like the Crispy touch on it. So we got quick draw here in the TIE SF with Proud Tradition, Swarm Tactics, Target Synchronizer, Fire Control. Special Forces Gunner and Fire Control System. Midnight with Marksmanship and Squad Leader. Malorus with cluster missiles, Kylo Ren with brilliant evasion, Malice, Predator, and pattern analyzer with the jamming suite, and then Whirlwind with marksmanship, proud tradition, cluster missiles, and advanced optics to round off this list. What I really like about this is the inclusion of swarm tactics on quick draw, as well as the squad leader on midnight. Having the I6 coordinate on that ship really helps set up most likely Whirlwind to get into range of two ships at Initiative 6 to help set up that cluster missile shot for both. Being able to get multiple focus tokens allows you to really modify that cluster missile shot with the advanced optics if you have multiple focus tokens, and set up a possible marksmanship crit for that attack as well. And then being able to also enable just the with the targeting synchronizer and quick draw to allow Malorus to shoot her missiles if she's not in range when she activates. Just really enables a lot of things to happen on this list. This is a very, very solid list. You're really using those I6s to enable the rest of the list to be more effective.
Yeah, this essentially just says nobody is ever going to be under a 5 in this list. Everybody just shoots, and then we wait for you to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit similar to his world's list with like the Whirlwind and like another I5 Whisper, but now you swap that Whisper for Kylo, and also you have Quick Draw now instead of like Gideon Hask is what he had. So.
Yeah, and I think Quick Draw is probably a little bit better offensively for this list. So, just saying.
Oh yeah. And you get off the targeting synchronizer shenanigans with Quick Draw, so you can shoot the cluster missiles, willy nilly.
So disgusting. All right, Alex, you're next. What list do you want to go over next?
We can do the next one down, the Republic list by Deslin. It's got Boost with Dedicated. Solid. Strong start. Slider with Dedicated. Contrail with Dedicated. R4P Synchronized Console Bash and Ion Bombs. Click with Dedicated. R3 Synchronized Console and Bash. SOC Kickback, SOC Axe, and the newly reduced price of Shock T at 4 points with Patience and Shield Upgrade.
That's pretty good.
It's a lot of defense in this list. I think it would struggle a little bit on offense, but you also have 7 ships shooting, so you should eventually wear something down, I hope. But just the Shock T being able to hold on to some tokens so you can set up for, like, let's say you can hold on to like both evades on the Torrents going into the initial engagement, and they can take like the focus for Axe and like the target lock for kickback, so you can actually get a little bit of offense around the turrets and still have the evades or hold focus. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I liked Slider better, except for after I had to play against Boost. And when Boost decided to boost away, I thought I was being genius with my little reroll man who Sean couldn't kill. And I stayed stressed and did the one hard and had an outmaneuver on Boost. And I'm just sitting here like, all right, range 1 outmaneuver. This is going to be great. That's an easy 2 points for me. Gonna win, gonna guarantee me the win of the game. And then all of a sudden Boost goes, yep, bye-bye. I was like, oh, man.
Remember when you gave me shit for saying that Boost is actually super, super good?
Yeah, I do. I was wrong, obviously.
For reasons exactly like that.
Now, I will say the only issue you would have, right, is you have to be careful of that dedicated piece, right? Like, if you do Boost and it ruins your dedicated piece, screwed. But other than that, I still think Boost is actually probably better in the long run here.
Or you can boost into position for dedicated.
Yes.
Yep.
So I like it.
Yeah. And Boost doesn't necessarily have to be his own reveal maneuver. It can be anything around him. His friendly ship's at 0 to 1, so you can do a surprising thing like do it too hard if someone else by you did blue.
Fair enough. All right, so let's go up to. We're gonna skip resistance. We didn't go over this Empire list. I thought this was unique, and I wanted to go through this only because this is a lone wolf list with Duchess, and to me, this feels like this list would just fall apart. But I don't fly strikers, and so maybe this is kind of what JJ can help me with. But this is a 7-point Vader with brilliant evasion, elusive, pattern, afterburners, and FCS. Vizier with Pelp. Duchess with Predator, Lone Wolf, Fifth Brother. And Moff Gideon, even though Moff went up a point, still really good with Cloaking Device still. It still fits Cloaking Device, folks.
Yeah. This definitely reminds me very much of the same archetype that that Duncan Howard used in the Richmond Open here. Just having, yeah, exactly. So this is like a revamp of it, right? Of his previous list. That's what I meant to say. Previously, instead of Duchess, he had Soontir Fel on there. But Darth Vader, that customized Darth Vader is really, really good. Always being able to get his actions even after K turns with Pattern Analyzer. Vizier now being the Palpatine carrier that used to be Farroff. Farroff being a little more defensive than Vizier there, but being able to do that ailerons coordinate makes this a little more effective. And Duchess is really hard to predict, being that flanker there, having that ailerons to boost into position, and have Predator and Lone Wolf and Fifth Brother to really help those mods on Duchess. She doesn't quite have the staying power as Soontir with the 3 agility, but she also probably has better ability to react and get out of arc when she needs to, and then just being backed up with Palpatine with the Force there, it makes her really good. And Moff Gideon's Moff Gideon, you just cloak, go after objectives, and make your enemy waste their shots on you. It's really good.
I mean, if you think about it, that Duchess has 2 Force. That's what we just call it that, because he's got Pelp and she has, Fifth Brother.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta be real careful, those strikers, man. They can pop if you don't do it right. I mean, they're still 2 agility, 4 hull ships.
Yeah, it's not a ship that you take to joust. It's a ship that you take to get around people, right? But yeah, you're right. Like if you're not careful with the striker, it can pop really fast. Yeah.
Also worth noting about Moff Gideon, I've seen people put Moff Gideon in with TIE bombers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The saturation salvo does not work with Moff Gideon if you Moff Gideon that ship. Their defense dice cannot be modified. You can't do it with saturation salvo. Just throwing that out there.
Yep, it's true.
All right, next list. JJ, what do you want to cover?
Let's take a look here. I think I'm going to go Separatist on this one here. Let me just get down there. Okay, so we'll actually do the list that I submitted here. So this is a list that I've been working on for a little bit, just trying to test out here. So this is the first Separatist list that we have on the list. We got Sunfac with Marksmanship, Lone Wolf, Ensnare, and Targeting Computer. Grievous with Marksmanship, Impervium, Shield Upgrade, and Solus 1. We have a Geonosian prototype, 2 of them. One of them with Mag Pulse warheads, Discord missiles, and Sync laser cannons with the repulsorless stabilizers. The other Geonosian prototype with Kraken and multi-missile pods. And then Iron Assembler with Discord missiles, independent calculations, and struts to round off the list. So essentially, with those Geonosian prototypes and being able to... one of them being the Kraken carrier, being able to give out those calculates and retain them for the both of the HMPs and the Vulture, being able to have extra calculates when they need them, to get off the Discord missile, to also use for Sync laser cannon and activate the multi-missile pods is really, really great. Their ability to essentially... whenever they gain a stress, they get a calculate, allows them to a lot of flexibility for them to always have that mod available. And then you have Grievous and Sunfac out there being able to punish really hard when they need to. Sunfac is designed to be the flanker piece in this, where you're either going to concentrate some forces to go get after them, and the rest of the list comes from behind, or you ignore Sunfac and he starts ensnaring you to get you into range for everybody else. It's a kind of a like make your opponent make bad decisions type list that I think has some legs.
All right, Alex, you're next.
Oh, I have a list for you. I'm going to send it to you in Discord. It's a scum list that I've been meaning to fly soon, if I ever actually win a store champ. But it's a scum list, and that's the crazy part about it. So I'm just going to start with it. Sorry, I don't have a visual for this.
Okay, if you give me a second, I'll put a visual.
I could screenshot on my computer and send it to you if that works for you.
Sure, you can screenshot.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll just open it.
Yeah, here, let's see. I know, sorry to just bring this up, but, scum. Not a lot going on there, so.
Here, there you go. I got it.
You got it? You're good?
Yep.
Okay.
It'll take just a second to load.
Okay.
But
so yeah, this list has Lima, plasma torpedoes, and R4B11. R4B11 is a criminally underrated droid. It's after you perform an attack, you can remove one orange or red token from the defender to reroll any number of their dice. Which also includes your own lock, because that is a red token.
Mm-hmm.
So just roll natties and you'll be good. It has Lando, the Falcon, with the title, engine, L3, Agile Gunner, and Deadman Switch. It's got Bosk, the Z95, marked chip expert handling. It has Cad Bane with marksmanship, proton cannons, contraband, the title, and Lots Razi. And then it's got Afra with 000, Gamut, Dangar, and contraband. So what this list does is kind of, there's a lot of stressing mechanics in it, between like Cad Bane passing it, that Afra with 000, and also her own ability. With all that kind of stuff, like you can 000 someone, and then if they take the stress, you get an extra die with Lando. If they don't, I mean, you gotta calculate, and that's pretty good. They can shoot Afro, but they get Dangar. Lazarazi really helps the rogue survive. If you end up blocking with Afra, or if they link an action, or if they just do anything, red maneuver, whatever, Lazarazi really helps you, just add an evade. It'll change one of your dice to an evade result. Or you can double stress them if you hit them with CAD. It's just something I've been working on. It seems really fun to try. I don't think it's particularly incredible. It might lean a little bit too hard in a gimmick, but it looks like fun.
I mean, would you ever think of dropping Dead Man Switch and engine upgrade and putting Trick Shot on Lando?
I don't think this Lando is one that orbits around. This Lando just shows up.
So, because you're not worried about losing Lando at 5 points.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going after Lando, I think I'll probably be winning the game, because that's the least offensive ship that's in that list. Like, including Bosk. So, I mean, it's just a large base. It's good for objectives. Annoyingly, he's not as good as a pilot back then, so he's only a 4. But that's actually helpful, because Bosk and Cad Bane are 4s. So you can actually shoot first with Cad Bane to pass the stress token and then take a shot with Lando, which is really convenient. Yeah. Or, you could 000 someone and then re-roll their defense dice with R4B11 as you shoot a plasma torpedo at them.
I know, that's so weird.
So it's playing around with like stress mechanics and just red tokens in general.
Yeah,
Just hopefully they don't have a Rebel Fenrau or something there, you know.
exactly. Yeah, Rebel Fenrel kind of shuts it down, but yeah, I definitely like this year. I do like the initiative of Lando and Cad Bane matching here, right? Because if you do get that one stressed opponent, you're able to benefit from that evade token twice if you need to, right? Because you can use Lando to with the title to roll an additional die, and then on defense you can have Cad Bane benefit from getting that extra evade if you need it. So it's really nice.
Or if Cad Bane shoots first, he can pass the stress token and then get an automatic evade on the way back, which is really silly.
Yeah.
So one of these days I'll put this on the table because it actually looks interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So this one is a list. It's kind of a merge of what Corey was looking to fly and something I have wanted to put on the table. Corey gets all the credit for the Wes Jansen minus the afterburners. We did not have that filled out, and I have when I get through going through this list, I actually have a question about this that could be possibly amazing. And you guys will have to tell me. But essentially, it's Boy Luke. Then we have Wes with Chopper, Marksmanship, Clusters, Afterburners. You could put frickin' whatchamacallit, Shield Upgrade if you really want to. Well, in a second, I'll explain why, in my opinion, you would not do that. But then you have Magma in the U-Wing with Ursaren, the Child, and Hopeful. Keo with Elusive and Cluster Missiles, and Sabine with Beskar. And the idea here, right, is Magva can kind of go in the center. Magva's not going to stay put. If you shoot, Magva essentially is denying locks and then taking locks with the Child and Ursa Wren, so Magva can literally just do whatever action she wants. And if you don't shoot her, she's restricting you from rerolling dice for any of the other ships. So they live longer, in my opinion. Keo, I am not 100% not sold on the bullseye mechanic for Prockets. I do like that. I don't actually have a problem with that. I just don't know on an I3 if I want, to try to always get the Prockets off. But and that's why I went with the cluster missiles, just for a little bit more of an advantageous shot for him. Wes is mechanic. The idea here is Chopper lets you spend other charges to regen health, and hence why Corey was running the shield upgrade, because it allows you to regen more shields, which is the safer option. I like afterburners just because then Wes doesn't have to be reduced to die. Wes is not shooting ever. He's not shooting those cluster missiles unless you don't shoot him. If you don't shoot Wes, he gets to get the cluster missiles off. Now, my next question is, what if you swapped afterburners and marksmanship out for snapshot?
Yeah, I've actually run a list with the Wes Jansen and snapshot just to get the ability off at a higher initiative. But it is viable, but you're also limiting the maneuverability of the ship, right? Because if you're trying to get that to proc consistently, then you're making yourself very predictable, right? So it just depends on your style.
Yeah, I just wondered, just because with the snapshot allows you to use his ability right away. I mean, you don't have to wait to use it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you can pick which ship you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was actually speaking to Corey about this. He brought a snapshot up on Wes, and I'm not a super big fan of it. I feel like if Wes, I can avoid being range 2 snapshot of Wes if I really don't. It's if I don't want to be jammed, I'll either not be in front of them in range 2 generally, or if I do, it's probably because I'm getting bumped and then I just don't take the focus so I don't get jammed. I don't know. But if Wes, if someone higher initiative moves and gets snapshotted by Wes, they can generally reposition away. The jam isn't as effective. I don't know. I love Snapshot. I flew Snapshot Tarani a lot. I mean, obviously that's to trigger Tarani's ability, and I was auto damage is really broken, but I think just doing like a snapshot just to trigger Wes Jansen is probably a waste of 9 points.
Yeah, and that could be true. And like I said, I like the afterburners for the repositioning piece, or the shield upgrade makes sense too because the shield upgrade gives you just one more thing to regen.
You can chopper the afterburners charges if you wanted to as well. Don't
I didn't
forget
think
that.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's kind of dirty too.
Yeah. Like if you don't really need those afterburners, or if you blew through all 4 of them on your cluster missiles somehow and you're still alive.
Yeah, because originally we had talked about putting elusive on there, right? Because you can use that to regen and then
classic
do a
combo.
Yeah, just do a red maneuver and get your elusive back. Like that seems BS. I don't know if it's really that good. So, and I don't know if this West Chopper build is really that good either. But some of me kind of feels like this can be somewhat oppressive. And there is firepower, and that the keel may have to go back to the Procket keel, or you could swap it out and run Wedge A-Wing, right? Wedge A-Wing might be the better thing to run in that list.
You can put the Procket on Wes. You can do elusive chopper, munitions failsafe Procket Wes. That all fits.
Yeah, so then I don't get but then the chopper, you only get the one charge.
No, well, you have the elusive. You just do a red maneuver.
All right, well. I like the cluster missiles is a guaranteed gimmick if you want that gimmick. So.
Yeah.
All right. Which one do you want to do next? Alex, you're up next. What do you want next?
Oh, I just want to say one last thing. I'm not like a big fan of. I love Wes. I'm out on 5-point Wes when I have 4-point Corn and Thane and 5-point Boy Luke. Unfortunately, we can do Brandon's CIS separatist list.
All right.
Mostly because it has Maul, and that's fun. It has Maul, Darth Maul, and the Infiltrator with Malice, Hate, Savage, and the title. Grievous with Marksmanship, Afterburners, and Pervium, and Solus one. Dirge with Predator, Proton Cannons, Contraband, and the title. And then Volwyn Das with Predator and Afterburners. It's a very front-loaded offense list. It's 3 I5s and 1 I4, but that 1 I4 is Grievous, so it's very strong. Yeah, like I feel like that Maul would still get really burned down without having any way of mitigating damage, but Malice, Hate, and Savage is a lot. You can spend 2 force on offense and then still also be able to double tap them all. If you just wanted to burn through all of them, that's kind of scary.
Yeah, I think Volin, I would switch to the shield upgrade or dump it all and go outmaneuver. And I do not like Predator on Dirge at all. I learned the hard way. It's not as fun as I thought it would be.
Yeah, especially because you just shoot him with the proton cannon instead of Predator.
Yeah. So I made the mistake of thinking I would love it after, but I found that once I get the proton cannon up, my next turn typically is setting up, either taking an objective or setting up for another proton cannon shot. And I would never get I just never got the Predator off, ever. It just never happened, you know. I will say, with that contraband, you can run seismic charges if you want. You could run marksmanship, novice tech, which is what I had been running. Novice tech almost never triggers on him, whereas marksmanship always does. But I will say seismic charges are an okay bomb to put, or you could dump contraband and just run, proton bombs and call it a day.
I like the contraband on the rogues. They have a lot of red maneuvers, or not red maneuvers, yeah, but like they do a lot of linked actions because that's their only way of repositioning. So sometimes you just need it because you need to do like a 1 turn or something.
Yeah, I like it too, and that's what I do typically. So, but there is other options if you want to run a more of a bomby thing. So, JJ, what is your next list?
So the next list we have here is going to be an Empire list sent in by Desi. This one is a 5-ship Imperial list here. We got Battle Yavin Invader, followed by Juno Eclipse with Marksmanship, Pattern Analyzer, and Fire Control System. Fifth Brother with Fire Control and Homing Missiles. Lieutenant Laurier, the TIE Interceptor with Elusive and Targeting Computer and Sensitive Controls. And then Magna Tolvin with Squad Leader, Jamming Beam, and Precision Ion Engines to round off this list. This is a really nice archetype. Fifth Brother coming back with a missile slot and homing torpedoes is absolutely great because you're able to add that crit in after you're dealing damage with his ability, assuming he's half the force there. Lieutenant Laurier, I think, is somebody that we should be seeing more in the Empire. I know that the 3-point type bombers are really good, but Laurier being able to use that sensitive controls for that bank barrel roll is really, really good for positioning, especially if you're looking to claim objectives and set up blocks. Magna Tolvin, I would change the loadout a little bit. I tend to, especially with the V1s and the X1s in the list, instead of putting precision ion engines, I always put targeting computer on there. So that way you can use that squad leader to coordinate a target lock over to one of them if you need to. That makes it easier for it because squad leader restricts you to only be able to coordinate actions that are on your action bar, and targeting computer does add that into the action bar on there. I know you lose a little bit of that maneuverability for Magna with precision ion engines, but I think that access to that target lock coordinate, specifically with this particular Vader, is really strong for Magna to be an effective coordinator for the list.
I like it. All right, so we have 2 more. I'm going to pick 2 more. One of them is my list that we're going to go over because it's the fun list. But before we get to my list, let's go over another scum list that I was very happy to see minus the shield upgrade. But I just don't like shield upgrade. I'm sorry. I think it's just a me thing. But Zach submitted an old Turok list, which I love old Turok so much, and I hate them. I hate playing against them. Every time I do something I'm not supposed to do to try to not get old Turok, and then like I just get outmaneuvered and shot at, and it doesn't matter. But old Turok has marksmanship, clan training, shield upgrade, dirge with cutthroat, marksmanship, proton cannons, and contraband. Sarisu with ion cannon, minutia, failsafe, mag bolts, and marksmanship. Lima Kai with plasmas and dorsal, and then Cad Bane with synced laser cannon, contraband, IG-88D, which I love, and the title and marksmanship. I love that. I love that so much on there. And I think that's why they do not give the title to Dirge, because could you imagine Dirge running around with sync laser with just this loadout right here, you know, minus contraband or whatever? It'd be so good.
Yeah.
But I like the IG-88D double calcs for Cad Bane. I think that's really, really good. Most of the time you're getting that marksmanship chip off as well. You get rid of your stress or your ion token, whatever the hell you have. Again, minus, I don't like the shield upgrade on old Turok. I think you could do Beskar plating, and then that leaves you with, like, 5 points to mess around with. Something you could put plasmas on if you really want.
Lets you take optics and fearless instead of like clan training.
You can do that too. Yep, take the optics and the fearless. I like fearless on old Turok anyway. So I think this is a solid list. Actually, this is what all Cad Bane's an I4, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all 5s and 1 4. Sad. But other than Cad Bane being a 4, like, I think this list is really, really good too. So you can use Lima Kai to kind of go around the board, kind of pincer whoever, and then just kind of shove 1 or 2 of those rogues down the throat and have old Rock coming in as well. I like it. I think it looks like a very fun list to fly. And you only need to own 2 rogues to fly it.
So a single
Conveniently.
pack.
Yeah, conveniently, it's in one pack. Weird. I think he switched out Magpulse and Munitions Failsafe on Sarasu for HLC. He's been running that a lot more recently.
Yeah, I'll tell you that's a Corey loves HLC. I like HLC. Well, I like the proton cannons, but I like HLC too. On a lot of things, I think it's a way to throw extra red dice more times than not with it. And if you think about it, that's what we used to, when you had the points. That's what you used to run on Dirge. That was like the original Dirge build. Was that?
And you should also put on R4B11s at a dorsal turret. I actually think that's what he switched to as well. Especially if you have like ion cannons and you over ionize them, just spending one of those to force them to reroll their defense dice, or if you mag pulse them in this case, you can take the deplete, if you want, or the jam if they already spent all their tokens and stuff. But yeah, I mean it's solid, a little bit fragile, but solid.
Yeah, I like this list. It's something I would fly to. Minus shield upgrade. No shield upgrade for me. All right, the last list that we are going to cover tonight, and then we're going to wrap up for tonight with a special announcement that we'll get to here, is a list called Protect the Queen.
Yeah.
This is probably not good, but looks like so much fun. It's my reroll droid that I love so much. Then I have a different version of Sam. We could talk about the Sam build in a minute. A Magna Guard Protector and Dirge. And I think the difference here is you could put 2 Magna Guard Protectors in if you wanted to. But I don't know. I really like Dirge a lot. And I think that I-5 in a 4-ship list is really good. And I don't know if Zam needs 2 Magna Guard Protectors with her. I don't know. But Zam, the Magna Guard Protectors are synced laser cannon, discords, and it's supposed to have independent calculates on it, but somehow it got deleted. Probably when I added Dirge, it took it off.
All right,
Dirge,
I was going to ask you that. I was like, the calc should really be on that, but yeah,
it should be. I only use 8 out of 10. It's a mistake piece of it.
Yeah.
Dirge has proton cannon, contraband, and seismic charges. Again, I could go either which way. I still like marksmanship a little bit, but it almost always feels like overkill because if you roll 1 natural crit or whatever, then you have the marksmanship for the 3rd or 2nd crit, and then the proton cannon for the 3rd crit. So it's like I've never killed anything. I have 100% overkill things, and I've never used Novice Technician ever. But I don't know. It's to each his own. And then Zam is a little bit more defensive with the thermals, Savage, contraband, and abated plating. The other way you could roll that is dumping thermals and abated plating and put on Notorious, and you could put in there Boba Fett Gunner if you would like.
Yeah. Also, instead of like having Boba Fett, right, you can go up to like Dooku as
You
well.
could go to
instead of
Dooku
Savage.
too. Yep.
Yeah. Like Boba Fett's nice on like one-on-ones, or if like you're shooting at your rear arc, right, and like there's only 1 ship in your rear arc or something, but just calling a crit is really nice too. Or calling an evade if you really need it. It's also pretty good. So.
Yeah. And that does leave you room still for the Notorious if you want it.
Yeah.
Now that Dooku went down in price, which kind of seems like they made a mistake in bringing Dooku back down in price. Like, I don't know why they did that, but I'm not going to, like, get angry about it.
Well, so long as they never bring Palpatine down in price, we're good.
Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, give me a 10-point Palpatine. There you go. Oh, yes. Yes. Give me a 10-point Palpatine. I will tell you, I have with Dirge done a, like, move Zam, move Dirge, done a barrel roll evade for the stress, and then spent my force and gave Dirge
the focus for
a
Wood
focus
Savage.
token, and then now I've got a double modded Dirge. Not very often does that ever happen, but it can happen once in a great while. And it is, people just go, why did you do that? Like, I don't know, you're going to shoot at Zam now? You can shoot at Zam and I'm going to double tap you. You can pick what you want. You know, what would be even better is if you give me the damn child at 7 points separatist, please.
Well, also with T81, right? When you re-roll your defense dice, you take a strain. You could Savage and Focus over them then, too.
Yes.
Which is pretty funny.
Is really dirty as well. I've never done that, but I think you could do that. So that would be hilarious. Damn it. All right. I'm putting Zam back on the table. You've convinced me. You convinced me.
So much for being bored of fire sprays, right?
Yeah, I know. It's Sam. Zam's been in the no-no corner for too long. Well, all right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us this week. If you would like, JJ's going to go into our Discord and he'll kind of put like a line. If you want more lists covered, just submit more lists. I know there was a bunch of lists. I think there was like, we got through, I would guess 70% of them. I think we got through 70% of them. So now that we've seen kind of the meta, or if you have something that you're flying that you're like, hey, you guys should take a look at this. This is a crazy thing. We will take more list submissions, and based on ones that we have that we want to cover, you're welcome to submit them. JJ will go in there, kind of put a line, so we know anything submitted after that date is stuff that we'll cover on the next podcast. But before we end the show tonight, we have a few minutes left. I want to introduce you to the newest member of Planning Phase Syndicate. Alex has officially joined our team as an official member since you've been on for, I don't know, 4 months now?
Yeah, so, basically.
We felt Alex has a lot to contribute. He enjoys. He's kind of helped us with episode prep and stuff like that. The requirement for him joining is he cannot beat me at the next store champ. If we get in the finals, he has to concede to me, so that way I get my invite to just move on.
In brand new news, Alex exits Playing Face winning store championship.
But no, in all seriousness, congratulations. We're happy to have you as part of our permanent team. And if we ever decide to do shirts, we'll get you a shirt. I don't know if we'll. And I have shirts that we should. I guess I should do that because I did give a shirt to Matt's wife who was doing screen printing, and I should probably resurrect and see if we can get shirts back. I gave her the design, and then I never gave her the design, but I gave her the shirt. And so she has like a shirt of mine that's just been like she's had for like 2 years now.
Oh,
I've just never I just never gave her the design for it. So maybe we'll do shirts at some point, and we'll look all fancy.
But yeah, no, it's thanks for inviting me. I'd have fun here on this podcast. I am still doing the Best of Benchwarmers as well. We did actually just have a new episode earlier this week is what I'm going to go with. So I'm just on 2 podcasts now.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You have the one podcast where you can make fun of me when I'm not around, and then the other podcast where...
And the Best of Benchwarmers podcast.
Got him.
Oh, you're killing me. So anyway, so Alex is becoming an official staple, so please welcome Alex to the fold as he is becoming part of our team. Which means now I have to change the intro again. So Alex, you have to commit that you're going to be here for a year because I hate changing this intro that we have every year. But maybe we'll do something shorter. I don't know. Maybe I'll tell you what. If you all, JJ, do you know how to? Is there a way to do a poll in Discord?
I don't believe so. No.
Well, you could do it with like the icons, right? Just be like, hey, set up these icons. Whichever one gets the most is what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we'll do that. Maybe we'll set something up for a poll this week to kind of make a determination because some people have complained about it being too long. Other people have complained that it doesn't have any words in it. Some people complained about JJ's face. So I don't know what I can do about that. I know how we could fix it by putting a Lions cap on it. That's what we can do. But maybe we'll put a poll up before I redo the intro. You can tell us this is too long or whatever floats your boat for it. So. All right. Well, with that being said, thank you all for joining us. We will be back Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC, or 2100 Eastern, or 100 UTC the next morning. If you want to catch us live, Otherwise, you can subscribe to us on Patreon, follow us on Discord, follow us on Twitch here, or follow us and subscribe right in our YouTubes. Please interact, folks. Tell us what you want to see. We will be back to some sort of a regular series coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Once we get through a few more lists and some Sword Champ stuff, we'll start our regular series back up again. Maybe we'll even go back to what we originally did and talk about each of the different scenarios, openings, entrances, all that different type of stuff for the scenarios, and kind of redo our scenario 101 discussion. So with that being said, thank you all. Have a good night, and we will see you on the flippity flop.
Have a great night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.
Oops.